most recent half, 20 years of the EFA, the European Forum for Foreign Trade, Excise and Customs, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. The aim of our association was to allow those people who deal with customs in practice come together and exchange views in a forum, and also negotiate controversies in a way which would lead to a reasonably broad consensus. I hope that this has worked rather well in the last 20 years. Every year we carry out our annual customs conference in various cities. Basically, we change the venue of the customs conference every year, which shows the great mobility of our participants. Very good that we were able to come to Luxembourg, but because we've been working on subjects such as the European Court of Justice or the judgments of the European Court of Justice. We've had a general prosecutor, but for the first time we're welcoming a judge so he can tell us his position as a judge.
In total, I think it's the diversity of future tasks of the large community to limit our integrational understanding. I think a system will develop where the different objectives of the community will have to be made compliant with the development of the integration process.
Despite the criticism, which seems appropriate in a number of cases, the European Court of Justice has been able to use European customs debt law in its various decisions as something as a matter of course and something relatively coherent. They've been able to develop it as a coherent body of law. The practice of administrations and the court's decisions have been very helpful and have certainly contributed to creating a uniform customs debt law throughout the European community.
The difficulty is the question whether you can demand penalties. Is the right of sanctioning of the community limited, and it will have to be seen how the sanctions are implemented in the member states, because it is not sensible to render different sanctions.
Which is why the application for authorized economic operators is an opportunity in which companies can analyze the relationship with their partners. Sometimes companies have had unrealistic expectations on customs administrations, but that this is no longer such a problem. In part, we've heard that AEO is seen as a quality seal, and we've often been told that we should look more closely and more strictly so that not everybody gets the certificate.
Damit also auch nicht jeder dieses Zertifikat bekommt.
And the Pakistani officers and our officers do a kind of side-by-side analysis of the imagery and make the decision about whether to load the goods or not. And it's worked very well, but that communications pipe back to the U.S. is a very significant cost of doing this. And that was just for 3 ports. If you tried to imagine this out of all 700 ports that ship to the United States, you'd need to buy a couple of satellites, of your own dedicated satellites, just to move the information.
Gerade im Hinblick auf das Vertretungsrecht zeichnet sich schon wieder ab, dass die Mitgliedstaaten...
So here it can be seen that the member states envisage limitations for the accessibility on their territory, which cannot be in the sense of the common customs union. Last point, reduction of bureaucracy.
A lot of companies want to make sure that levying will not be carried out. I think that this is worth consideration.
Wünschen, dass auf die Erhebung der Einfuhrumsatzsteuer von vornherein verzichtet wird.
Ganz wichtig ist
another very important point is that we finally succeed in harmonizing our custom legislation at a world level, because preliminary declarations is a very good example that we have the safe framework of standards. However, at the same time, people pick and choose. This is what I want from my importers and exporters, or sometimes people who have to report are going to be different, or sometimes authorities require additional data which are not even on the list. I'm not going to name any names, but it's obviously not very helpful and also produces unnecessary costs for the economic operators.
Für die Wirtschaftsbeteiligten.
It seems to me that we're simply going to leave a number of questions open, and that means that we'll be able to talk about these issues at the latest at the next customs conference to take place on the 18th and 19th of June in 2009 in the beautiful country of Austria, in Linz.
Darüber zu reden.
Sehr geehrte Teilnehmerinnen und Teilnehmer, am 20. EFA-Zollrechtstag hören Sie eine Weltpremiere. Dabei handelt es sich um die von unserem Dirigenten Paul Dern komponierte Fanfare Eva. Viel Spaß!